Hey friends, join me in my kitchen today. I'm getting one step ahead by making some make-ahead meals. I'm spreading this out over 2 days. So it's day one and we're gonna start with sweet and sour meatballs and then my mom's yummy macaroni and cheese. Okay, I'm coming to shop my shelves for some of the sweet and sour sauce. So I'm going to be using 2 of these. And I also need to grab a can of pineapple tidbits. Okay, I'm gonna chop up this green pepper that is turning orange. We had chicken fajitas the other night and I'm gonna use up the rest of the orange and the yellow pepper. But you can use green, you can use red, it doesn't matter. Now we're gonna chop up an onion. So we're gonna cook up this 48-ounce bag of home-style meatballs. Put those down in there. Add in our peppers and onions. So let's get our sweet and sour sauce in. Oh jeez. We're gonna add the pineapple in the last hour of cooking. Okay, give this a good mix. Okay, this is going to cook on low for 4 hours. So we're gonna make what my mom calls baked macaroni, but it's macaroni and cheese. I'm boiling a pot of water for the macaroni. I gotta keep my eye out on sales on elbow macaroni. This is my last package and it's a 24 ounce. So I only need 16 ounces, so a pound. So I'm left with not even 8 ounces. It comes to like 7.4. So I can make a little something with this, but not like a full recipe that requires a pound of macaroni. I grabbed some Tillamook medium white cheddar, and then we're gonna use some extra white sharp in it as well. My mom just uses just straight up white cheddar. You could shred your own cheese. It's actually cheaper, and buying it in the block form is cheaper too than buying it in a shredded package. So you can freeze your shredded cheese. All you have to do is put your shredded cheese in a bag, add a little bit of cornstarch, shake it up, and there you go, and you can freeze it. Because the shredded cheese at the stores, the coating that they put on it isn't healthy. If you have the time, it's cheaper one to buy it in block form and shred it yourself. And Paigey Poo knows I'm working with cheese and she is waiting for me to give her some. Yum. I started draining the macaroni and it tipped over in the strainer and I lost some down the drain. So guess what that other little bit of macaroni is gonna be used for? Yeah, I'm gonna boil that. Jeez. Now let's try draining this again without losing the macaroni. Yes! I'm running it under cold water because I don't want it to overcook. I want to cut that cooking time while I'm working on the cheese mixture. You know, this isn't my first time on Cheese in Our Apron losing pasta down the drain. No! Oh man, I just wasted a ton. Oh, that ticks me off. Okay, now we're gonna work on our cheese mixture. So we're gonna put an egg in the pot. And then we're gonna add 2 cups of milk. I'm using this lactose 2% milk. Whole milk would be really great. Okay, we're gonna whisk together the milk and the egg. Turn our stove on low. So if you're new to my channel, we just moved into this house in February and I am so happy there's a gas stove. I miss my gas stove, but oh, I just love cooking with gas. And then we're gonna add the butter, which is 2 tablespoons of melted butter. And let's add our 2.5 cups of shredded cheese. So mix this until it is nice and smooth. I'm gonna add back in the macaroni. It's just easier to mix in here instead of like the baking dish. I guess I could have made that cheese mixture in the pot. Would have saved me from cleaning. I always have those afterthoughts. Okay, once the mixture is done, pour it over and give that a good mix. So you can use between 12 and 16 ounces of the macaroni. I'm gonna add a little bit of half and half in. It's not in the recipe, but I feel like doing it. And you can salt and pepper this to taste. I am gonna add some salt. I don't even know what that is. Maybe a little more than a fourth a teaspoon, I don't know. And then some pepper. Do you see that? She's waiting. Drop something, mommy, drop something. If you'd like the full recipe to print out, it is linked below. I'm glad I put the sharp cheese in because it needed the sharpness, but I think I put a little too much. So I poured some half and half in. I don't know how much, I just eyeballed it. And I grated up some more of just the medium cheddar, white cheddar cheese. And now this is all melted and I'm gonna pour this on top. And it's okay if this mac and cheese is extra creamy and cheesy, because who doesn't love a good cheesy mac and cheese, right? All right, now let's get it in the pan. Okay. Spray your pan, get this down. Okay, spread this out. Let's get the topping on. I only had a little bit of breadcrumbs in this container, so I went and shopped my shelves. There's no certain amount, no rhyme or reason, just put it on. And what do you use for a topping on your mac and cheese? Have your oven ready at 350 degrees, and we're gonna bake this uncovered for 30 to 40 minutes. I just hard-boiled about 24 eggs. We're gonna put some hard-boiled eggs deshelled in this container for the fridge for the week. Some of these eggs will be used for our salads, for breakfast, and I'm gonna make some egg salad for egg salad sandwiches. Do you guys like egg salad? It doesn't last long in my house. We absolutely love it. I just use Miracle Whip and some salt, just pretty basic. I'm just gonna put it in this plastic container. This is gonna go so fast, but when you're craving it, I'm like, oh man, now I've gotta cook the eggs and do it all. Now, I have not tested if you can freeze egg salad. I don't know if you can. I don't know if it'll work, but I'm definitely gonna look it up and I'll let you know. And this I'm gonna leave out for today. Once the kids come around the corner and see this, it's gone. So good. Okay, I'm gonna let this cool down and then we'll dish it up. We have 1 more hour of cooking left. I'm gonna add all my pineapple in. I just used that whole can. So you're gonna drain it and then add it in. And this pineapple cuts that little bit of bitter that the sweet and sour sauce has. So good. I'm gonna let this go for another hour. I'm simmering some rice for our sweet and sour meatballs. Let's dish up the mac and cheese. I'm trying to scoop so I can keep the crusty parts on top. I'm gonna do my best. And we're gonna fill these up. We're not gonna be shy about it. Yum. All right, I was able to get 5. Add the covers on, and then we'll get these in the freezer. Yum. So I have 5 macaroni cheeses ready for the freezer, and I don't have to go out and spend a ton of money when I got the hankering for mac and cheese. All right, I got everything cooled off. The rice is cooled down, so I can add it to our pans here. Not sure if I'm gonna end up doing 5 or 4. We shall see. So I cooked up some jasmine rice, about 2 cups worth. Wasn't sure how much I needed. I don't have enough for 6. So we'll eat that. So now we'll spoon in our meatballs. I'm not sure how much I'm gonna put in each either. We're just gonna put these in and eyeball it. These are hearty, big lunches or dinners. We don't have to go for the takeout or buy those dinners. We know somewhat what's in these, but yum. Delicious. Okay, just get the covers on, and we have sweet and sour meatballs. And when you don't have time to cook, or you don't feel like cooking, you have something hearty and yummy for you and your family. 5 sweet and sour meatballs going into the freezer. Okay, we're on day 2 of cooking. There's no way I could do this all in one day, especially when I'm filming it. It smells so good in here. There are so many yummy smells. Bacon mask. So off the bat, I started frying up the bacon to have for the week. I'm starting on the gravy. I have my pork chops in there, my chopped onion, and this is the first time making gravy in the new house, so this is very exciting. The onions are nice and caramelized, so now I can add in the cans of tomato and tomato paste. But I'm super excited about the gravy because I made it exactly like my mom told my sister. During Christmas time, I was making gravy and I was on the phone with my sister and I was filming it, and you guys followed along, and she told me how mom makes hers wasn't how she told me.
So when you gave us the gravy recipe, did you give Ashley a different version than me? No. Oh, well, you didn't pay attention, I know.
No, I asked you. I sat there with a pen and paper and said, Ma, go over it with a fine tooth comb. And I wrote down everything that you said.
Oh, well.
So I'm re-listening to that video while making the gravy. And I have to say, it tastes a lot like mom's. Close. Tomatoes make the big difference. I have 2 packages of the hot Italian sausage. I'm gonna start slicing up the sausage. We'll get them in the pot. And then we'll start on the meatball mixture, get those rolled up, get them in the pot as well. That's gonna simmer all together, and then I'll take it off the heat and get it cooling down. Derek likes the gravy, but he's like, it's missing something. I did everything they said, but I didn't add garlic in mine. This one. I always add garlic, and I think that's what Derek is missing. So I am going to add some garlic. Am I gonna have gravy like my mom's? No, but I can, if I order the pastine tomatoes online, I can have them delivered to me. I've done that before. My kids and my grandkids are gonna know my version. Yeah. Once this big pot of gravy is all cooled down, we're gonna put them in the clear containers. I'm probably gonna get 4 of these 32-ounce containers filled. What's great is when we're craving the gravy, I could take one of these out and we have my mom's yummy gravy to go with any dish. Then we'll get the lids on them. I should have just doubled this recipe today, but that's okay. Okay, now that these are ready, I'm gonna pop them into the freezer and we have gravy for later. There's times when I've actually just put the gravy in Ziploc bags and laid them flat in the freezer. That works well. It definitely leaves more room in the freezer, but I have plenty of room in my freezer right now to stack these containers in. Okay, next I'm going to take some of the sausage and the meatballs, put them in 2 containers, one to have for now and another set to have for later. Pop those in the freezer. Next, I'm gonna make just little individual meatloaves, just slices. The kids asked for it. That way they have their choice of just having the meatloaf or making a meatloaf sandwich. Look at that. Oh, yummy. I had it cooled down and now I'm ready to plate them up. Last time I made full meals with the meatloaf, some potatoes, some corn. I get asked a lot how you reheat these. I take the covers off, wrap them in saran wrap, start them off at 5 minutes, then go in and stir things around and do another 3 or maybe 5 minutes, just depending on what it is. I'll even add some more pats of butter on top of the potatoes or the corn. So easy, so yummy. Eight individual meatloaves going in the freezer. I actually got 9, but I saved a piece for Boston. He was drooling over it. Now it's time to make our favorite sloppy joes. And this is actually the Pioneer Woman recipe. The only thing different that I do is I add a ton more Worcestershire sauce than the recipe calls for, and we add sriracha instead of like Tabasco sauce. I'm working with 4 pounds of ground beef. I'm doubling the sloppy joe recipe. Added some salt and pepper, and now we're gonna brown this up. And while it's browning up, we're gonna chop up some bell green peppers and an onion. And then get all the grease out. I like to use paper towels and a tongue. Soaks up all that grease. Add in your diced up onions and peppers. And for a normal recipe, you would need to mince up 5 cloves of garlic. So I'm mincing up 10. Then you'll need 1.5 cups of ketchup and Worcestershire sauce, a few dashes. I really don't measure. The stuff's so good, you can't go wrong with it in there. Next, we're gonna add some spices in there. 2 teaspoons of chili powder or more to taste. 1/2 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. 1 teaspoon of dry mustard. You can add more salt and pepper to taste. And you can use any hot sauce. We like to use sriracha. Oh, this I eyeball. Sometimes it's really spicy, sometimes it's not. And then you'll need a cup of water. Mix this all together. We're gonna get this boiling. So I'm gonna bring up the heat, and then once it starts boiling, I'm gonna simmer it for about 20 minutes, and then it'll thicken, and it's going to be delicious. Okay, I'm just suctioning out some of that grease. And one of these will feed us, 4 of us, for a meal. Ooh, but the kids, whenever they want sloppy joes, they could come grab a container, and it'll hold up in the fridge after it thaws out up to a week, but it's not even gonna last like a day and a half. This needs to cool off a little bit more before I put it in the freezer. Okay, it filled 3 32 ounces, and the rest I'm gonna put in a bowl, and someone will make a sandwich with this. More than likely, it'll be Boston. He's already drooling over everything. I saved him the last piece of the meatloaf, and now the sloppy joes. This is one sandwich right here. Yum. Kimmy's been here. I'm a messy cook. A lot of this is the wrappings from the garlic, so I gotta sweep this up. Feels good to be one step ahead, especially when we have a crazy busy life and we don't always want to be in the kitchen. Let me know what you're gonna work on to get one step ahead in your meals. I would love to know. Leave in the comments below. For more videos packed with yummy recipes to get you motivated to get one step ahead, click on this video here. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you soon. Bye.